This is Mordhau. It's a medieval warfare fighting game that blew my mind when it came out in 2019. I have countless great memories of playing this game and doing crazy stuff in it. How many times have you played a game where everyone stopped fighting just to surround a frog? How about a game where you throw your weapons down and you start fist fighting to the death? How about where dwarf bards run around playing music and you manage to sneak through an entire enemy base with your own personal soundtrack playing? These moments are just one of many that define the experience of playing Mordhau, but tragically, after 7 very long years of running, the game's population has dwindled to less than 1,000 concurrent players. The only time the game sees any actual player-based gains is when Mordhau goes on sale, but those gains do not last for long. In my humble opinion, dear viewer, Mordhau is a game with a very low skill bar for entrance, because the bar for entrance is genuinely whatever the hell you want it to be. But the skill cap is so insanely high, I don't think most players truly know where it is anymore. But when you have 7 years of non-stop gameplay, the casual players leave, the sweatlords stay, and elitism forms among the game's ranks. This is where many different members of the community have tried to step in and figure out how to introduce the game to newer players without losing them. Look at this Steam thread that opened in 2023 and is still getting active posts to this day. This is where a player known as Ronin the Grey comes in. Ronin wants to develop challenges to help foster the community's growth by giving new and returning players a real feel for the game. And this is the RONIN'S challenge. You might be asking yourself about now, how did I, a World of Warcraft YouTuber, get into this situation? Well, our story begins 2 months ago on the map known as Dungeon. This map is a silly little dungeon filled with traps, hogs, and kamikaze barrels. While I was playing on Dungeon, Ronin mistook me for another player in the community, Watermelon Blue, and after correcting him, Ronin asked me if I would pursue his challenges, eventually returning to the game after nearly 4 years. I was intrigued by the challenge, and having been burnt by WoW's last 0.5 patch, I decided to record and make a video based on Ronin's challenge. In layman's terms, I said, fuck it, we ball. Ronin's challenge consists of 33 different challenges across the game's 11 major maps. Each map has 3 challenges that revolve around the map's identity and encourages players to play a variety of different playstyles. Since the challenge was issued to me on Dungeon, I decided that this place would be the best to start, with the map's first challenge being called Sacrificial Surprise, which asked me to kill myself. I'm not kidding, I need to get 3 explosive barrels and successfully kamikaze 3 players with it, meaning that I need to light the barrel and explode without losing it, which I did 3 times very quickly. But you see, I have a major problem in my hand. I am clearly lacking critical reading skills because I did not read this challenge clearly, as it tells me I need to be a member of the Free Guard. Just like Team Fortress 2, this game is divided into Team Red and Team Blue, and I was not Team Blue when I did this, so Also, at some point when I was doing this, a moderator logged in and gave us all blunderbusses. The second challenge, Late Rescue, killed 2 people with any of the bones found in the prison cells. And this is where we're going to get the only real rule of the challenge. Many of the sub-challenges require individual kills with certain weapons. If I kill someone and get credit on the scoreboard, but not the kill feed, it doesn't count. Anyways, the third challenge on this map is Demonic Dawn, which involves getting into the secret room on the map and coming face to face with the giant skeleton, all to his wills and desire, and sacrifice a single soul with a dagger in his name, after sacrificing 1 player to the dark gods and sealing him away in Demon Horde mode forever. I was finished with Dungeon's challenges in 5 matches. Next up, the map that I have the most love-hate relationship with, Mountain Peak. The challenges for this map are silly, but more or less just rely on what kind of lobby you have. If you have a lobby filled with the sweatiest men alive, all I can do is wish you good luck. The first challenge, Cold Breeze, is to kill 3 people in a single match without a shirt or chest armor. But this is where several challenges are going to start overlapping. The second challenge on this map, I have a plan Arthur, is to knock someone off their mount with a billhook, then steal it on Mountain Peak. So, while I was waiting for someone to get on a horse and ride off, I ended up getting billhook kills, and surprisingly, these come very fast. fast, 3 kills in the course of around 30 seconds. However, the real pain of this map is getting the billhook knockoff, namely because you don't see a lot of people riding horses, and you really can only see them during the first 3 objectives. It took me around 4 full games before I ended up in one that really had people wanting to use horses, and I mean they truly wanted to use horses. You had dual horsemen running loops around the map, despite failing to track them down, missing hits, and being parried on multiple occasions. I actually had a stroke of luck that guaranteed my challenge's victory. In the middle of this chaotic match, we got pushed into objective number 4, and one of the horsemen happened to just hit the wall at the right moment for me to swoop in, kill him, get on the horse, move 5 feet, and instantly die. But this did fulfill all the requirements of the challenge, so let's knock it off the list. The final objective on this map was just a matter of luck. Long live the king. Kill one person by kicking them into a deadly fall on Mountain Peak. This challenge is all about finding the right opportunity just to kick someone off. But here's the thing about Mordhau. This is a game about predictability and reading your foes. So, when a random newcomer appears and conveys through emotes and sound effects of what they want, people are just interested in seeing what happens next. So I spent most of my game up top here, just looking to toss rocks and mess with archers behind enemy lines. I had a PlayStation player who was absolutely fucking livid at me because I kept killing them. But during my time up here, another red member was enjoying my antics and joined me. And with a little bit of raw persuasion, he decided to take the fall for me. This now leads us into what is personally my favorite map to play, Grad. While many players think of Camp as the definitive Mordhau map, Grad has such a special place in my heart because this is where I have most of my early memories of Mordhau as a game. Grad has 3 challenges that range from incredibly easy to incredibly hard. Let's start off with the 2 easy ones. Challenge 1 is... As a monk, I need to kill 2 people and heal 2 people in the same match. So I do what I do best. I designed a Chad monk with a staff and medic bags. I need to get 2 kills with the quarterstaff, which I luckily managed to snipe my first kill right off the bat. After another 5 minutes of struggles, I sniped another kill and marked that part off. But I still need to get 2 people to heal with my bags in the same match, which we find out through a plus heal bonus showing up on my screen. This slowly turned into something much harder than I expected, because I could just sit around and point at medic bags for people to use them. After a very unfortunate death, I was lucky enough to find someone used a medic bag to heal only 2 health points, which thankfully for us counts. And after a few more regrettable deaths later, someone got a much more substantial heal, giving me victory in this challenge. Challenge 2 is Open the Gates, which simply requires opening the gates while an attack as Iron Company. This is actually a fairly easy objective, since the gates can be opened and closed on repeat. However, in an actual match, this becomes a stealth mission. I chose to take the far path first, but after being encountered by a blue menace, convincing him that I wasn't worth it, I had to wait until we won the first objective. My first sneak attack into the castle was disrupted by 2 knights making me their bitch. My next attempt started off with watching a ballista blast someone to Kingdom Come. Then I snuck up the side and got jump kicked by the commander. My third and final attempt was a flat bum rush that resulted in victory. Challenge 3 is where things actually get hard. How Grad works on defense as blue is that your final objective is to keep both your commander and warden alive. Challenge 3 is guardsman. As defense, keep the commander alive on Grad invasion. This is a bit of a pickle because the commander is the hard one to keep alive. The warden gets to sit in his jail. He has a bunch of defensive spots. It's really easy to choke out enemy forces. The commander though, he's exposed to the open, and there are no chokes to prevent people from reaching him, and it requires a good player to survive a very long time. I shit you not when I say it took me around 6 full matches of Grad, and many times it was truly because either the commander threw hard or the warden threw hard and they bum rushed the commander. There is no true strategy to be formed on an individual basis because this is a team fight, and so I warn you now, if you wish to succeed in keeping the commander alive, pray to whatever gods you believe in and hope that your commander is a good player. My commander during my winning game had to stay alive for 15 full minutes, and after a very tense quarter hour of my life, we succeeded, and I walked away from Grad with a true victory. This leads us into our next 2 maps, Taiga and Totenwald. Before I actually continue talking about these 2 maps, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the challenge. It took me around 2 full months to record this video, and that doesn't even include how long it took me to edit. And I'm not going to bore you guys with the statistics. If you enjoyed this video, it'd really help me out if you liked and left a comment. And also, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. And if you don't end up liking my other content, you can always have the option to unsubscribe later on. These are oddball maps because they just aren't very popular in comparison to the big three. Even Taiga, a launch map, doesn't see the same amount of gameplay because it can be a fairly one-sided map at times. But for me to do the challenges on Taiga, I need to go back to my local university and learn about history, because holy shit, what the fuck is a Cuman? The Cumans were a nomadic Turkic people who were a major powerhouse in the medieval Balkans, and now I have to roleplay as one. And these guys are known by a few distinct things, like their iconic masks, spears, and general chain mail. And for our first objective, Metal Mustache, I need to kill 8 people dressed as a Cuman in a single battle on Taiga. However, this is where we have some artistic interpretation of the rules, because the next objective is called the Woodsman, which is to kill 3 people and cut down 3 trees in a single match on Taiga. So I may have done both of these simultaneously. I cut down 3 trees with a spear and killed 8 people as a Cuman. Maybe there is a world where I should have roleplayed as a humble woodsman with an axe and cut down trees and people alike, but in the interest of my time, I must stick to my swagalicious ways. And this leads us into our third objective, and this is probably the one that I had the most fun with in this entire video. Cub's Claws. Hide in a bush and sneak attack one unsuspecting person. And here's the thing, I don't even really know what this means in a game where people are always being constantly alert, but I got them all out and I sat in a bush. And after my first kill, the epiphany of hiding in a bush to kill people was just too damn intoxicating for me to stop. So I may have done this challenge multiple times over in a single match. If you play Taiga, I highly recommend just getting in a bush and trying it out. Make the enemy team feel like they are in their own personal jungle hellscape right now. Reenact the bold moves of the Viet Cong and prepare to trap individuals who dare enter your bush. And live Moss, knowing that you have finished Taiga as a map. Next, let's go to Germany. This is Totenwald, or the Forest of the Dead? I don't speak German, but I am using my niche COD Zombies knowledge to guess that's what it means. Totenwald's first challenge, no strings attached, is just to destroy 2 of the giant ballistas while attacking. And while these are usually heavily defended, the defense team has not met my greatest ally, the nefarious firebomb. One firebomb is enough to kill a single ballista. I'll do it once, and then I'll do it again. And boom, we can call that a day. Secondly, Totenwald might actually be a COD Zombies map after all, because we have pack-a-punched weapons on the map that glow in the final objective. In our second challenge, Thunderbringer, I need to go hit the mystery box, get a glowing weapon that one-shots people, and kill 6 people in a single match. I got really silly, and I actually found myself with almost all glowing weapons. I got a maul kill, crossbow kill, another crossbow kill, another maul kill, and yet, once again, another maul kill, a heavy hand axe kill, and a couple more silly heavy hand axe kills. And oh shit, I'm already actually over the kill count already. Damn, that's a real shame. I was actually having so much fun with these one-taps. Now, the final challenge of Totenwald is one that I genuinely just didn't know about. Unfrog Gettable Moments, which is to just find a frog on Totenwald and use the squat emote next to it. I decided to start at the final objective and work my way through the map. My first thought was to look around the river, because frogs love water, right? I shit you not when I say that I genuinely looked through every nook and cranny on this map. I even found a goblin under the bridge, and while I was searching, someone wanted some heat, and after slaying this frogless bastard, I just kept searching for the frog until something really weird happened. There's this one place on the map, they just started to die for no fucking reason. And after this, I asked people in chat for some help. And I know I'm gonna bring it up again, but Mordhau is a game about predictability and being able to read other people's intentions. When you are asking for something like finding a frog that is outside of the whims of the normal player base, people get interested. And this is just one of the things I still love about Mordhau, because there was at least one person who knew where a frog was. And from the heavens, a savior was sent. Thought Slayer 69. He beckoned me like a guardian angel and took me to the frog. And what happened next was something I could have never expected. The fighting just stopped. People from both teams just stopped fighting and came to view the frog, to just spectate it. Even the people who were naysaying my quest for the frog earlier were just amazed by it. And this is what I love about Mordhau. There's this sense of silliness and whimsy that's in the heart of this community that we could just stop fighting just to enjoy a little frog on this map. And with this heartfelt moment, my time on Totenwald was complete. Meanwhile, the game's most popular map still awaits us. This is Camp. And man, while Grad is still my favorite map, Camp is the map that defined Mordhau at launch. Whenever I think about all the great clips and videos about this game, so many of them take place on Camp exclusively. Where do we even start here? Let's get historical again, and I know that I'm going to butcher this word, but I'm going to try my best. This time, we are role-playing as the infamous Landsknecht. Coin a sewer requires us to kill 10 people in a single match while dressed up like this. I graded my best interpretation of this historical mercenary and got to work. And after 10 kills with various different weapons, I finished up my historical roleplay session and moved on to the next challenge, Night Knight, which is to kill 3 people using a dagger while dressed as a knight. And if you do not mind, I would like to share a bit of poetry with y'all. Good night, camp. Good night, default knight. Good night, Straw Hat Ginsburg. Good night, dishonorable combatants. And good night, Ginsburg, once more. The third and final challenge of Camp, Boar Served Crispy, is to win as an attack on Camp Invasion and in the same match, kill 2 people with fire. Welcome back, my little combustible friend. This challenge was actually a little harder than I thought it was going to be, because it's not that easy to get firebomb kills in 2026, particularly on a map with very few choke points. So my best option was to just lock someone in a room, burn them, and pray to God they didn't escape in time. But somehow, some people were willing to accept their fate to my firebombing ways.
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny?
We can make a religion out of this. And Camp's final challenge wrapped up with an easy victory just like that. And now this leads us into what is probably my favorite post-launch map, Feitoria. Because this map is actually what I picture a medieval siege to be like. A giant tower, stealing weapons, and killing nobles. It is actually such a goddamn cool map. But this map's 3 challenges are a bit of a doozy, in the sense that they are truly mastery challenges. First off, Last Communion, which I'm going to be honest, I don't know what is worse. This challenge, or being strapped down and subjected to the Saturn stick. Because it requires you to get the Flesh Wound perk, take fatal damage, and kill someone while under the effects of Flesh Wound. This perk lets you stay alive for an additional few seconds after taking a fatal blow. Granted that you didn't lose your head, but if only it was so simple. After a few failed attempts, I hit a legendary run where I entered Flesh Wound, failed to hit someone several times in a row, and with the closest of glancing blows, I managed to tap them and kill them, and then succumbed to my wounds. Cross it off the list. But this is where things get hard. The second challenge, Wealthy Woes, is to deal a killing blow on a noble in Feitoria. And this one is really hard to do because nobles are being protected by everyone, their mother and their mother's best friend. This means we have to sneak in a final blow. So to practice, I decided to sneak my way through an entire map. And this is when I was noticed by a singular individual, a bard named Loppy the Unluck, who made it his God-sent mission to follow me and provide my own original soundtrack, which is now being sold in stores near you. Unironically, Loppy made this map for me, and his ability to hype and rouse the hearts of the people gave me all the energy I need to master my roguelike abilities, and after several failed attempts, I hard pushed into the objective by completely ignoring the fight, blitzing through their spawn, and one-tapping the noble with my spear. Thank you, Mr. Loppy. I'm never gonna forget you. The final objective on Feitoria, Noble Cause, is just to keep 2 of the Free Guard nobles alive on defense during invasion. But Sentinel, how are you gonna keep them alive if they are able to flop over and die at the merest inconvenience? Well, I have a little secret for you. Technically, if invasion fails any objectives leading up to the nobles never actually die. So we just kept the invasion from ever happening. And I know someone in the comments is going to get pissy about me having a creative interpretation of the rules, but as a safeguard, I actually went and asked Ronin the Grey for his sage wisdom. And to quote Ronin, "The greatest victory is that which requires no battle." And so yes, he approved of my methods. Continuing our theme of post-launch maps, I am now on the most overrated post-launch map, Castello. And in terms of actual time played, these challenges took me the longest in this entire run. The first challenge is the easiest one of all, Boasting Boar, which is just to win an attack on Castello using an Iron Company inspired outfit. I thought about what an Iron Company outfit should look like, and I made a black-red outfit and used a poleaxe for my weapon. Hey, Editor Sentinel here. I realized the Iron Company uses an axe on their banner, and I know the poleaxe isn't exactly an axe, but I'm going to just emphasize that it is an axe somehow. So let's just say, yeah, it's okay. Next up we have, oh god, how do I fucking say this? Ballista Stir Wound. As defense, kill 3 people with a ballista in a single match on Castello. And this actually stumped me because I didn't know where the fuck a ballista was on this map, let alone that there were ballistas on this map. So I decided to load up a private match and study the map, which made me remember that Frontline and Invasion have different map placements based on the game mode. There are 2 ballistas that spawn in the courtyard here on Frontline, but during Invasion, the only ballista that spawns is up on this ledge in the distance. So I had to figure out 3 ballista kills. After a handful of games, I got to the ballista, and I don't know what happened, but after I sniped 2 people, a 3rd person willingly sacrificed himself for me, which completed this challenge. But here is the actual hardest challenge of the run. Castello Hello. As defense, kill 3 people trying to climb ladders before they climb up. And again, I had to research this map in depth because there's not that many ladder locations. I have bad news, everyone. I'm entering my toxic phase on YouTube by playing my literal cancer upon the world character. I decided to run javelins. The biggest issue I had was I could only find like 4 real ladders that I never see any player climb, or ladders that are really hard to reach while playing defense. I got desperate with this challenge and even went to play on European servers when this map was active, just hoping to get a kill, but that did not work. I had to study the map and learn where each ladder was located and just sit there, camping it out. While you were dueling, I was studying the ladder. While you were having non-consensual skull crushing, I mastered the javelin toss. And while you wasted days shooting your bow and arrow from a mile away, I cultivated inner patience. And now 4 days have passed. I still have no kills on this challenge. It genuinely did take me 4 days at this map before I saw someone climb a ladder. And damn it, when they did, I managed to get my first kill. But this was a very short-lived success, and I ended up going back to the North American servers. And after waiting through even more matches, I succumbed, and I asked the community if they could help me out. After offering kisses and feet pictures, a player in my match, Sneaky Boy, claimed a ladder twice and let me kill him. This ended my time on this godforsaken map, so thank you, Sneaky, for being such a G. Now, there are 3 maps in the way of me finishing this damn challenge once and for all: Arid, Noria, and Crossroads. And my luck with these 3 maps was absolutely abysmal. Arid and Noria exist in a bubble as 2 maps people just do not seem to be fans of, but all of this pales in comparison to Crossroads. This map is genuinely never played in the Invasion format because it is a 2-objective map and it's missing all the fun stuff like the giant fucking cannon. Oh my god, this thing is insane in Frontline. But here's the thing, there is still a fair amount of Frontline games, but the community heavily favors Invasion. But because Crossroads will be the hardest map for us to find, we're going to start off with Arid. The first challenge is Saracen's Saturday Night, which is just killing 3 people with a camel. We can easily knock out 3 people with a camel, but using my mastery of the English language, I am assuming Ronin did not intend for us to kill someone with a camel literally. So I got a spear, found a camel, and got a quick kill. Then the camel got stuck. Oops. Later in the game, I waited at spawn for a new camel, acquired it, and then hit a holy double collateral, only to be killed by his Y-hander user. Can you name a more iconic relationship than that between any horse rider and his Y-hander? I can't. The second challenge, Sensational Moments, which again, very easy. Kill 5 people with the scimitar on Arid in a single match. What you are seeing right now is actually my second attempt at this challenge. Because of my original attempt, I was so tired when I was recording, I didn't actually even get all 5 kills. I had 4, and one of them were a team kill. So I had to go back and do this entire challenge again, because I was a sleepy man. But 5 kills come and go very quickly. And then I got hit with the real challenge of Arid, actually winning the map. This challenge, The Morrow Never Came, requires me to dress up as a Templar during the final push in Invasion as the attacking team. Arid is one of those maps where the offensive team can really struggle, but because these last 3 maps are so rarely played, I need to make the best use of my time to push these challenges out, and while doing so, Mordhau chat got a little silly, as people discussed the optics of dating in 2026. And maybe, just maybe, we got too off track because I ended up losing my first game of Arid. Oops. A couple nights later, I got into another Arid game on US East and I suffered from the high ping hard. Very fucking hard. But you know what they say, a little suffering goes a long way. And the moment you stop making the suffering a priority in your life, you sit down, take it easy, and slide your way into victory. And that wraps up Arid's challenges. This leads us to our second desert-themed map, Noria. Continuing our theme of easy to hard, let's talk about the first challenge, Little Scorpion Sting, which is to kill 5 people in a single match using an engineer's ballista. This wasn't that hard, honestly. It just takes a little bit of dedication because there's only a few really good choke points for ballistas on this map, but after a few different locations, I easily got all 5 kills. Second up, Desert Guardian. Using the tank perk, get 5 kills in a single match with a scimitar or bardiche. Continuing our scimitar gameplay, I knocked out a quick quintuple of kills in a row, so knocked off the list. Finally, the Horde Challenge, Al-Kharid's Toll. Using the scimitar, break a flag and kill the flag's maker in the same life on Noria. This is where I was in a little bit of a pickle, because rarely does an engineer stay near their flag, nor is it easily accessible without being behind enemy lines. I ended up playing probably a dozen games of Noria trying to get this, but luck sprinkled on me one day with the help of a single individual. Do you remember a minute ago how people were discussing their dating life in 2026? Well, this happened back to back with that Arid match, and I was still talking to one individual, Nora, who was very curious about what I was actually doing. And after explaining my situation, Nora actively volunteered to help me finish this challenge by building a flag and letting me kill her. She stopped what she was doing and just helped me out because she could. And it was a beautiful reminder on how the community of Mordhau is constantly just searching for new things. When people are doing something unorthodox or unusual, they want to observe, they want to see what the hell's going on. But most importantly of all, they want to help. So I do want to thank Nora for actually helping me get this one done. Couldn't have done it without you, boss. And now for the end game. This map exists in a bubble because it is genuinely the most unpopular map on Mordhau in my experience. The only times that I could actually play this map was the dead hours of the morning when everyone already went to bed, so lobbies were very sparse. My first challenge, Devil's Deal, while controlled by the enemy team, firebombed the cannon on front line. After spending a few hours waiting in the Mordhau server browser, a sole South American server actually landed on Crossroads, so I snuck over and bombed it. Following this was Nightly Affair, which is to kill 3 horsemen in a single match while riding a horse. I found myself on North American servers at around 3 AM Central, so there were very few people online. But while I was here, I ended up in an epic racing contest where I killed 3 people with my spear. There's also a joke in here somewhere about Steel Wall Run, but my brain is so fried from these challenges, I cannot make it anymore. But finishing this objective gave me a boost of adrenaline that was long needed. My final objective, the final mastery of Ronin's challenge, was upon me. Crownfall, deal the killing blow on the king in Crossroads Invasion. And in the same match, I swapped over to the Emmy team to try, but the king got himself deep into the cart, and despite my best efforts to reach him, I couldn't. And as time slowly ticked away, I would lose this opportunity to kill this king. This was somewhat heartbreaking, because it took me nearly a week to see Crossroads Invasion pop up, let alone one that didn't end in mere minutes. But despite everything, hope was not lost. As I left the server, a Russian server with only 3 players showed up for me. And as I arrived, I got to work. I took my spear out and started to break down the door to the cart. This took me around 2 to 3 minutes, but once I broke into the cart, a low-level Russian player took control of the king. And my destiny would intertwine with his. And after a full minute of bullying the king, I killed him, and that gave me perfection in Crossroads, which gave us total completion of the Ronin'S challenge. And at the end of this very long road, and having completed every challenge, I went to talk to Ronin the Grey and inform him that I finished his challenge. He congratulated me and was really surprised that someone managed to do it. To my understanding, I am the first person besides Ronin to finish this challenge, and when I talked with Ronin, he wanted to know all my thoughts on the challenge, which ones were hard, which ones were annoying, and which ones would I remember. And as I told him of my journey thus far, I could only conclude our conversation on this note. I went into this challenge because I thought it would be a silly little video to help me take a break from World of Warcraft, but my time in Mordhau was far more impactful than I ever thought it would be. While this game is certainly facing issues such as the declining player base, a skill cap that scares new players, or even back and forth toxicity in-game, but despite all of that, Mordhau's community is still alive with an actual, beating, loving heart that shows itself in the most unlikely of circumstances. I spoke about the moments where everyone stops and just starts having fun doing the things the game developers probably never intended, like joining a random bard quartet in the middle of a siege, the random fistfights that would break out, and most importantly of all, the strangers who I met that stopped what they were doing and actively helped me complete these challenges. And as I told Ronin all of this, he could only muster one heart-touched response. At the end of the day, Ronin the Grey's challenges were a great starting point for new and returning players to develop a wide range of understanding about this game, while actively fostering the spirit of the community. And for that, I would like to say thank you to Ronin for creating these challenges. And I say thank you to the Mordhau community, who still put their love and passion for this game on display every single day. Even if Mordhau was to die tomorrow from some successor game, I think this game will always have a special place in my heart, and that these challenges I have done are something I will look back fondly on. If you are still playing Mordhau or are interested in trying some new challenges, you should totally give Ronin's challenges a try, and if these aren't hard enough for you, he has a series of miscellaneous and legendary challenges too. But that is all for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.